Today we're going to talk about how to manage your cash flow. As a small business owner, this is one of the most important things of your business. It's almost like the heartbeat of the business. If you can manage your cash flow, your business will be successful. My name is Josh, Program Director here at Untitled Latino. Super excited to bring this workshop for you. Before we start, please be sure to share this with your friends and family. If you have any comments, any questions, leave them down below. And without further ado, let's get to the workshop.
Good late afternoon, everyone. My name is Leon Woods. I'm one of the vice presidents with Pacific Premier Bank. And we are happy to partner with Ideal and with Josh. What we're doing today is we're going to be speaking about managing cash flow, and I'm just going to get right into it. Our objectives will be to describe the purpose of cash flow management in a startup small business, meaning a new startup small business, walking into a empty space and turning it into your small business, startup business, assess a cash flow cycle and make some cash flow projections, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we move along, and describe how a cash flow statement can help assess and improve the financial health of a startup. So for where are you on cash flow continuum? This is, we're talking about everybody that's listening to my voice. Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate? Knowing to have some questions, an expert, and still have questions? It's ongoing. Questions are always good. It doesn't matter where you are, ladies and gentlemen. It is extremely important that regardless of the question being asked, to the ears that it falls on, and going through a situation in business in any way where you know you have someone there who can answer you, ask, just ask. And as you begin your process, you begin to fine tune a startup business in this case, your experience and knowledge and information that's shared puts you in a place where you are now a business owner and improving with every day. So here's a balance sheet. A balance sheet holds your assets and your liabilities. So the assets are what is it that you own, what is yours. Liabilities, what is it that you owe. So the three views of cash flow. Got it. Conversion cycle, there's cash flow diagram, and statement. So the conversion cycle, as you see, money in, the business pays for raw materials. The money out, the business makes the product, and the business sells the product. Cash flow diagram, even though this looks a little detailed, you can see from start to finish, there's a lot of moving parts here, and this is where all the money is going. Ultimately, it's sales that we want to fuel. It's the sales of the product that we want to be successful. And in doing so, this cash flow diagram explains the moving parts within the likes of a small business in its assemblance. Everything is included here. Direct costs and the materials, labor, and its inventory, payroll, taxes. Oh, you even have estimated taxes to pay. That all that is in what is a cash flow diagram. The cash flow statement. Here's where Bob tells the story. How much money Bob has to run his business, how much money is moving in and out of the wired cup, where the money is coming from, and where is it going. This is to be monitored. You got to keep your finger on it. Obviously, you got to watch every penny because there's a lot of moving parts in this. And also when the money is moving in and out of the business. There could be seasonal things, for example, in inventory. Increase revenue, provide incentives for customers to pay in cash. If I'm going to buy inventory and I'm going to pay in cash, you better believe the suppliers are going to be very happy and wanting to talk to you because this is a cash transaction. This is not a credit transaction. The amount of paperwork and documentation, all that is still there. But by paying cash, you get more. It works, believe me. In this case, maybe start catering, selling gift cards. These are ideas to increase the cash flow, to increase the sales and success of the business. Corporate accounts, wow, perfect. So you're in the corporate world, and the wired cup is on next door to my office building, which is 47 floors or what have you. And the corporate accounts, they start wanting coffee in the morning. Maybe there's going to be group meetings and the like. You start communicating and introducing your company, and these accounts start growing, and it just begins to really take hold. I want to emphasize it all takes work. It's not that easy. It requires marketing strategy, connecting, but obviously in starting up a small business and your specific interest in doing so, as in this case, you know something about the product and your goal is to make it as the best success as possible. Negotiate with vendors and suppliers. Does not hurt to ask. Talk to your vendor and say, I need better terms on these products that I've been getting from you, and payment plan. You got to be a little flexible with me here. Everybody's in it for you. But wait, it's just not you. The vendors also for their own businesses, the suppliers for their own businesses. Everybody is part of the wired cup. It is truly a teamwork effort. Everybody's playing ball. Landlord, pay entire year's rent in 10 months and not 12. Wow, if you can do that, maybe there's going to be an incentive. Maybe you can get some consideration going forward. Months that are slow, you have to reduce your staff, or you have full-time staff. You go to part-time. You work it, ladies and gentlemen. You fine-tune it. You find ways to make it work and keeping your cash flow consistent with the season. Here, reduce menu options. So obviously, if it was the holiday season, there would be lovely holiday options. But when there's not the holiday season, those options are not accessible or available. What not to do? Okay. Don't postpone paying the estimated taxes. I think I mentioned that at the top of the presentation. Your estimated taxes are what they are. Try to keep them in sync and try not to postpone them. Connect with your CPA. Have these discussions. If you postpone paying estimated taxes and it gets to a point where you're there and you may not have the cash flow to pay it, it's unnecessary stress. Do not hide from loan officers. They can provide invaluable advice. How true is that? If there's things that you want answers to, your questions in business, in the financial institution, in person or by phone, make contact with a loan officer, but sometimes you may even want to talk to a supervisory position officer, someone who has not necessarily more knowledge about the subject matter, but who is a decision maker and can express opinions. They can't advise, but can express opinions that may be better for you in time. Okay, do not pay vendors late. Now you don't want to turn the water off, right? You want to pay on time. It's a relationship you have. It works well. Occasionally, you're going to be in a situation where maybe the payment is not there. It's a climate change. We're in a recession. Things are slow. It's stressful. Everybody's feeling it, and everybody wants to help each other. Through this, I encourage you to maintain, not easy, a positive attitude. You all have the same goal. And an example, a liquor store owner that I'm aware of had some difficulty with regard to inventory. Inventory was not where it should have been, and the sales were not where they should have been. This was through pandemic in time, and it's a small market liquor store. The supplier was there to help. They allowed flexibility in time and in payment. Everybody was in it together, and I'm happy to report it all worked out. Payments were made, the flexibility and support was there. So you don't want to take advantage of anyone, and they don't want to take advantage of you. What you want to do is stay in touch, and as they say as you do as you say with your vendors and your suppliers. Don't overestimate your income. That's just giving you a headache. Don't underestimate the costs of product. You don't want to do that either, because all that does is create problems for you that's unnecessary. Oh, is it professional to ask for help? Well, I think we already answered that question. So ask for advice and feedback. Seek out expert technical assistance. Here, your CPA can find out ways to increase income and reduce expenditures. Share ideas with other businesses to find out ways to both compete and cooperate. Co-opetition. Interesting. So let's look at this for just a moment. Share ideas with other businesses to find ways to both compete. So if you are, I don't know, not too far away from another, maybe not necessarily a coffee company, but a sandwich shop, or the likes of sole proprietor, storefront businesses. Within a block or two, everybody gets to know each other, and thoughts and ideas and experiences are shared, and what works and what doesn't work. You're not necessarily competing with the same business, but having a dialogue where there could be some insight and a referral to a connection, someone even in a bank that may know a little more than what they even anticipated in terms of the inquiry that the neighboring business wanted to hear. It all has value. So our key points to remember: managing cash flow is core competency of small business ownership. You're watching every penny. An opening balance sheet tells a compelling story. The balance sheet's what it's all about. You're watching it. You're watching the money you have, the loan that you're receiving, the ability to make your monthly payments, and to really fine tune your monthly business operation on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. A cash flow statement continues the story, using it to monitor projected and actual income and expenses. Plan for seasonal fluctuations. I mean, what comes to mind, as I mentioned, that one business, but another situation also is, here you have a vendor that's or a supplier that's calling you. You're not calling them. They say, hey, we have a client that is relocating or whatever, or the business is changing its direction, and we have this inventory that is available, and we'd like to know if you'd be interested in it, and we'll make you one heck of a deal. And you work it. Here we're talking about seasonal fluctuations, for example. Any opportunity you look at, what's available to you is something you should never turn away from. It's always good to hear, and to maintain that dialogue is my point, and ultimately secure positioning that supports you through fluctuations. Not every day is a wonderful day. Not every month is, but different times of year, things are different. So try to maintain a rapid cash conversion cycle, as we talked about. So you've got it in the business, it's working for itself. And let me tell you, when that gyro starts going, you feel very good about it. And it's to your credit. Manage your paperwork like a pro. You're going to make changes. You're going to learn from them. And you will have no idea how the experience comes onto you and knowledge. It's just really self-rewarding. Not every day is perfect. I don't want to give you a clear picture of, oh, just having a great time. It's work. It requires effort. And ultimately, you wanted to get into this business for all the right reasons, and let it work for you. And when it starts, standing ovation. Ask an accountant for advice. Ask your banker. Go into a bank. You have a loan officer we talked about earlier, maybe not strong enough with regard to what you want to do now. Speak to a supervisor. Get somebody who has the ability to react and not have to ask for somebody else's assistance.
So this is a question for cash flow. I know you talked a lot about different things and gave a lot of advice and tips for this, and in the presentation you went over. How important is cash flow for a small business?
That is the heartbeat of the business. The cash flow is what it's all about. Without the cash flow, you don't have the business. You have a product you want to sell. You sell that product. you have income, your receivables are increasing. You have to replace that product. The only way it could work is having the cash flow and the elements of cash flow. A business loan, credit available to you from the vendor, the supplier, and related entities. This cash flow, this cash, also doesn't deal within the parameters of what I just mentioned, but you also have business taxes you have to pay, estimated taxes you have to pay, and the cash flow is part of that as well. What is significant and what is important is that there should be a set minimum amount at all times. It's seasonal too. Demands are greater at different times of the year than others. It's the heartbeat of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And the resources that are available to get it and to assist you are in position, right, for that reason and that reason only. Small business administration, small business loans from a bank, speaking with vendors and suppliers, everybody, here it is. Here's the heading. You've got the business in place, but it is being supported by vis-a-vis the cash flow by so many entities. Your electric bill, Department of Water and Power, water, the marketing strategy, again, suppliers and vendors. And then too, you have other types of accessories, like this wired cup company. Mm-hmm. You want to have maybe some nice gifts and stuff that will work in the holiday season, as I mentioned a few times.
In regards to cash flow for a small business, how many months of cash, so business expenses, should they have? You know how when we talk with people about emergency funds for their personal expenses, and experts recommend anywhere from 3 to 6 months for personal. What about for a business, especially if we're going to possibly enter a recession? Stuff might slow down a bit, spending might slow down. What would you say from your experience is a good 3 months, 6 months, a year? What would you say?
I want to answer the question. I want to be very informative. I'm not in that position to give you that answer. Mm-hmm. The best answer I can provide is to refer to your accountant. Mm-hmm. To your accountant, and you have a mapping of your strategy, what your projections are. You want to have a reserve available to you should you need it. Everything needs to be managed. The goal here is not to run out of cash. And you want to be able to be, you should be able to function. But the best person is your accountant to speak with and to talk about that dollar amount, and for lending support, certainly a financial institution.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect answer. I think that's amazing.
I don't want to not give the answer, but yeah. It comes down to that. But you see too that your success on a monthly basis, you can find dollars that you can set aside for the following month. You want to project a little bit, but you want you want to look from one month to the next, and that's how I can answer that question.
No, I think that's a great answer because it just depends on the business and the financials. So that's great reference to talk to your accountant. And if you don't have one, then maybe it's time to get one. Exactly. Well, Leon, thank you again for everything, all the workshops and all the insight that you brought for us today. I don't know if there's any final remarks or anything you want to tell or share.
Just look, everybody, times are difficult, and yet from another perspective, not so, based on accessibility to resource and support. Again, I don't want to draw a rosy picture. Everything requires effort. We have to make it our play, our strategy, how we implement ourselves into a business of choice. It is just magnificent to think about starting up a business in a empty space and to build it into a success. And even doing the right things, it could be a struggle. But once it begins to evolve and you see the benefits and what's coming to you, is worthy of a standing ovation. So with that, thanks, Josh, and to everyone, have a nice evening.
Now that you guys saw the importance of cash flow, and not just the importance, but how to manage your cash flow with the very great presentation that Leon Woods from Pacific Premier Bank gave us today, just think about how you can improve your business, how you can apply some of the things you learned today. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. And if you want to get connected to Leon Woods or Pacific Premier Bank, let me know. We could do that connection for you. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.